This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. It's Wednesday today, which means we're dealing with a viewer's question. And before we get into it, I'll just mention that if you have any questions or queries about anything guitar or music related that you think I'm the right chap to answer, then get in touch. You can see the address on screen there. That's where you'll find the email form that you can use to contact me. The link is also in the description. Or you can just use my email address, jrguitartuition@gmail.com, or you can, kind of leave a comment below this or, any of my other videos, and who knows, your question may feature in one of these Wednesday videos. A chap who did get in touch was called Andy, and this was his question.
John, every time you demo a guitar or pedal and write a tune around it, you seem to have a memorable riff as the intro. Any chance you could show us how you come up with these riffs? It's something I could use some help with. Andy.
So how to write a riff, or how I write a riff? Well, as luck would have it, on Sunday I've got one of these kind of videos doing where I'm basically demoing and comparing a couple of guitars, bit of a Telecaster type shootout as it happens, and there's a riff involved in that video. It sounds like this. So I think that's the kind of thing that Andy was talking about, and here's how I think when I'm putting a riff like that together.
Here is the explanation.
Right then, writing a classic rock vibed guitar riff. I guess the first thing is, choose your key with some kind of common sense, I guess. Don't try writing an AC/DC, or Jimmy Page style riff in the key of E flat. Obviously you can tune down, but, stick to all of the obvious keys that, all classic rock seems to be in, like A, G, D, E, that kind of thing. And, that's usually a pretty good start, because if the guitar is providing open strings that are going to be useful in that key, then you can use, as I did in this one, you can use a drone. I use the open A string as a drone for this. So that's one thing. Then, the structure of the riff, I like to think of riffs as having, a certain specific length. I like an 8-bar riff, and I'll kind of do that in 4 different quarters. So I'll do 2 bars, like the first 2 bars of this riff go like that. So that's, I'll play it with a metronome. So if you were counting the beats there, you can hear that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 2-bar riff. Then I'll do some kind of variation on that riff. So I think the second 2 bars of that went, and then we go. So I've got like a sort of call and response kind of thing going on there with this part of the riff. And then this part of the riff. And then I'll go back, so that's like the first 4 bars of the riff that I've got there. So I've got like a call and response. Then I'll play the first part again usually. And then I'll do a different response at the end of it. So I'm playing like, So, where are we? There's the first call. There's the first response. Do the call again. And then the second response. like that, and then there's your 8-bar riff. So you've got sort of you're using a degree of repetition, which helps foster a sense of familiarity. It makes every time you come back to that same, kind of thing or whatever it is, it sounds familiar to the listener. It basically helps to make it catchy, because that's what we mean when we say something is catchy. It means it's memorable, and you create that memorable kind of feel by repetition. But you're also putting variation in there. So what chords am I using in this riff? Well, I'm basically using these kind of 3rd and 4th string power chords, an A5 and then a G5, and then if we take the G note and drop that down to an F sharp, we're getting like a first inversion D chord thing. So, and then just keeping the A sort of tonality going on underneath that, like this, with the open A string, then back up to the G, and then because it's a sort of a blues rock thing, you can kind of make the case that that's, I guess, A mixolydian there if you're into the sort of theory nerdy side of things. But because this is sort of vaguely blues rock, I'll kind of start blurring the boundary between major and minor as you do in blues. You're kind of doing that minor to major third bend a lot of the time thing in a blues. So I'll just put in maybe a C chord of some kind here, which is let me get it. Yeah, I did not a C chord. I'm just going to the D5 chord here, and then walk down the C, B, back to A again, like that. So, and then of course I can never resist the old "all right now" D chord to A thing, or Rosalie or whatever. That tends to crop up in a lot of my riffs because I like it. So. That's how I'm kind of thinking there. Just, kind of basic blues ideas, really, in power chords and keeping that pedal tone going. The other thing that I do like to do a lot is syncopation. There's a lot of accents off the beat in this kind of, in my riff writing process. So if I just kind of I'll turn the guitar's volume down so you can probably hear me speaking a little bit clearer. So if I just count the rhythm of this, it's going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and... Let me do it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So like lots of things happening on the and of the beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and at the back end of it as well, where we've got that's kind of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So it's kind of coming in on the and there, accenting on the and. Syncopation, basically playing off the beat. And that's just something that, years of practicing to a metronome it just feels entirely natural to me now. Yet another example I know of a guitar teacher saying, you should use a metronome. But it really does, kind of sharpen up your timing and, although the evidence would suggest otherwise there, because I find it difficult kind of counting and playing at the same time, or certainly out loud. But yeah, using a metronome will sharpen up your timing and allow you to kind of do this kind of on the beat, off the beat kind of thing at will. So yeah, to summarise, I like an 8-bar riff, which is made up of a 2-bar segment as a call, and then a variation on that as the response, then back to the original section again, and then a different response. That gives you a nice kind of familiar sound, really. It seems to be a formula that many classic rock riffs adhere to. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And, do it in a key where you've got, don't try writing a classic rock riff in the key of G flat, for example. It's not really going to be as easy if you did it in the key of G, or A, or D, or E, or any of those, kind of the usual suspects, really. Knowing these power chord voicings, I mean, we all know that those voicings there, which are great, but another thing is to keep a drone going on underneath. I'm not saying that's an essential part, but something I like to do. It's a familiar sound in many kind of classic rock kind of things, which means that if you want to kind of thicken it up a little bit with putting some semblance of harmonic content in there with chords, then knowing your chord voicings on the third and fourth strings is an advantage. So that's basically how I think when I'm putting a riff together, and it's also the fact that I'll think sometimes, I mean, you probably notice this has more than a whiff of, what's that Alice Cooper song, No More Mr. Nice Guy, about, it's kind of got a little bit of that going on. So it'll be whatever I've been listening to in the past few days, just that sort of seeped in, and let's try doing something like that, and hopefully change it enough that I don't get into any kind of copyright trouble. So there you go. That's how I write a riff. Now you know what to do. Go away and do one for yourself. So that's how I do it, and it seems to work for me. Hopefully it'll work for you too as well. Well, it should do. No reason why not. As I say, coming up on Sunday, we've got the video which features that riff and the rest of the tune, which I haven't written yet. That's what I'm going to scurry away after filming this video and get that finished off. But that was, I tend to think of the riff as the beating heart of the tune, and I like to get that done first. So the full video will be coming up on Sunday, and all the usual Patreon stuff, the tab and the backing track and the video of me playing it and all that sort of stuff. That's coming up on Sunday, but for the moment, if you are one of my wonderful Patreon supporters, you can go and grab that explanation clip that you've just seen there. It's up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description. $3 or £2.50 a month gets you access to all of these additional goodies that go along with these YouTube videos. A massive thank you to everyone who supports me in that, or any of the other ways, all of which are linked down below. Thank you so much indeed, everyone, each and every one of you. And we've got another comparison coming up tomorrow where there will be some kind of tabs and a backing track and so on, so kind of stay tuned for that. But that's pretty much it for today. Hope you've enjoyed the video, found it useful, informative, and hopefully a little bit entertaining in some small way. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream every Friday 5 PM UK time. We drink beer and talk about music and guitars. What a great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.